Come along for 3 weeks of archery, elk hunting, and trout fishing in southern Utah. Let's go.
I don't even know how many. There must be like 20 fish in here. Yet another ATV. There he is.
Let's go elk hunting. Step 1, drive from New Jersey to Iowa. Almost to the end of a long day. Okay, day 2, driving from Iowa to Utah. Today I will go explore the unit, and by this evening hopefully glass for the first time. It's really beautiful weather and beautiful landscape out here. I'm getting up into the higher parts of the mountain now, but it is much rougher and slower going of a road than I had hoped. So I'm not going to cover that much ground today, and then I'm going to set up and glass this evening. Well, the hike up here took longer than expected. It probably took me about an hour to get up here. Partly just not used to the elevation, partly just things are harder in real life. I've already found a huge bull. He's got another bull with him. Fortunately, I can't shoot either of those. I need a spike or a cow, but it's encouraging, and eventually we're going to find the right one. Here we go, day 4. Gonna glass from the top of this mountain until mid-morning, and then hike out and see what else we can find. It's a beautiful day. Well, it's 10:22. I've glassed all morning. I saw the big bull again in almost exactly the same spot. I saw no other elk. I saw some sheep about 4 miles that way, some cows about 2 miles that way. Disappointed I haven't seen more elk, but it's been a beautiful morning, and I think it's time to head down the mountain, have lunch, and explore by car some more, and figure out somewhere else to go glass tonight. Okay, gonna take a few shots and see if we're still on. And there's 2 shots from 50 and 1 from 56, so don't think we need to adjust our pins.
Finally found some water in a much drier area, but I found this on the map and decided to hike up in here and see if there's actually water here, and it's the best water I've seen by far. So I'm gonna hike up onto one of these mounds up here and glass for the rest of the night and see what happens.
Well, last night's water hole was a bust. There was basically only mule deer sign around it, maybe some elk. I climbed up above it and watched it, but didn't see anything. So this morning I hiked in a different spot, a little deeper in, a little higher, and it worked out. I got up onto this crazy rock formation, and the wind is really ripping up here. I was feeling cold, started to put on my jacket and stuff, and I turned around and there were 2 bulls right behind me, like probably 80 yards. It seemed like they were looking at me, but they didn't spook. They actually calmed down and fed for a while. I got some great video of it. Eventually they got my wind, but I mean, they were in bow range. It was really cool. Both 5-point bulls. Unfortunately, again, elk that I'm not allowed to shoot. Seems to be a recurring theme for me. Last year I was in Colorado and the only elk I got a shot on was a spike, which wasn't legal there, which is what we're after here. So, you know, what can you do? But it seems like all the elk so far I've found have been at 9,500 feet, so that's a good thing to be paying attention to. But I think unless something different happens this morning, I'm gonna hike out, move camp, and go check somewhere else, because it seems like it's all bulls in here, and that's not what we need.
My brother joined me last night, and now we're on our way to move spots, and his rental car has popped a tire, so we're gonna deal with that. There's our culprit right there. Well, the glue didn't work, so we're changing out the tire.
So after an exciting morning, things took a turn down. Oh, and I also made a dumb mistake on my hike out. Went down the wrong ridge and had to make a hard 45-minute hike to make up for it. Then on the way out, after I decided that we needed to relocate, he pops that tire. That cost us 3 hours, and we got it to the shop, but they were closing, so he's stuck in town, got a hotel waiting on his car to be fixed in the morning, and I came up the mountain on my own. I didn't even get up to where I want to camp until like 7. And on top of that, I'm now resorting to scouting and most likely hunting at least the first couple of days in the high pressure area that I read about, that apparently, I guess, is where most of the cows and spikes like to hang out at this time of year, because I've been scouting other places and only finding bulls. So, you know, what matters at the end of the day is how you handle these situations. I'm going to stay positive, got plenty of time, and, you know, it's just part of the adventure. But, yeah, I'm definitely feeling it a little. And I fully expect that tomorrow there's going to be a whole bunch of people with ATVs that show up here and make me wonder, just like my trip in Colorado last year, whether or not I'm completely wasting my time here. But that being said, we're gonna glass what we can see from near camp for an hour or two, until dark, and then come up with a plan for the morning. Things are staying challenging this morning. I found a low tire pressure warning on my car, which was pretty disconcerting after last night. It seems like it's okay for now, it's holding steady, but it's not agreeing with the pump, so it's a worry. I glassed the same area this morning, pretty much, that I did last night. Saw a good number of mule deer, but no elk. So coming up with a plan for tonight. I need to do some prep for getting ready to hunt, actually, because tomorrow's opening day, and come up with yeah, some kind of a plan for where I'm going to scout this afternoon. But it's a beautiful day. Saw some deer, and we're gonna figure it out. I finally found a water source with elk sign. Everywhere else, all I've seen is cow sign, and there is a ton of cow sign here, but there are rubs. If you look right there, there's quite a big bull rub.
Hopefully there are some cows here as well, but they're definitely using, it's like a guzzler or gusher. I'm not sure exactly which they're called. Yeah, best option for tomorrow right now.
Big brother made it in. We're glassing this meadow. We saw a few tracks on it, checked some springs, but there's no water in them. Mostly we've just seen ATVs and cows. But it definitely seems like a spot that they would cross through at some point, so we'll see what happens before dark. It's a beautiful view regardless. Here they come. Yet another ATV. Probably come right back through right at dark when the elk would come. And here comes another one right at sunset. Right at prime time. I just don't get it. Why would you think it's a good idea as a hunter to go driving right through a meadow right after sunset?
Wow, we almost killed one just now. First morning, we actually met a hunter this morning who parked right here. And we got here crazy early to make sure we were the first person here. And he said he grew up around here and they hunt this area all the time. And basically they all still hunt, and that sitting in water was a waste of time. And I kind of believed him, but decided to stick to my guns anyway, at least for opening day. And 5 minutes ago, a cow just came out. It just happened so fast. She came out. She was at 40 yards. I started to get ready to shoot. And before I had time to do anything, she either got her ground scent because she kind of came to where we walked in, or she got our wind. The wind has been pretty, squirrely. So it's really exciting, really annoying that it didn't work, but that it did work. And I don't know. We're gonna have to pay really close attention to the wind and see if we need to sit somewhere different. Yeah, it's a great start. Maybe we'll stick with this strategy.
We didn't see any more elk yesterday. We learned a lot from the other hunters that we met. We had one guy who I met in the morning. There was a lot of ATV traffic yesterday. There's been way less today, which is really nice. We did make an awesome friend yesterday. This guy who's a resident who lives several hours from here, but he's a Utah resident, has a bull tag. And he came in here and started messing with the water. Finally went over and talked to him, mostly because I was like wanting to make sure they knew we were sitting here. And it turned out, he's been scouting for like 6 months because he's got this bull tag. And we learned so much from this guy, both about like why our tires are popping. Basically our city tires are just too thin. We learned a ton about the elk. We actually heard from him, and also that local hunter in the morning. We saw trail camera pictures of the dry water hole that's like, 300 or 400 yards down behind us, down creek, with like 100 cows in it, elk cows. And so they made us very confident that we're in the right place. That there's a lot of cows and going to be spikes that are using this area still. We just got to find them and get onto them. It's all heavily timbered. There's no way we can glass it. The weird thing too is I came here preparing to hunt out of a backpack in the backcountry, but there's no water anywhere. So like it would be really hard to do that without carrying in a ton of water on top of all of our gear. And not to mention that the trails, the ATV trails, again, just like when I was in Colorado, are so extensive that there's hardly anywhere you could go that somebody with an ATV can't get right in there. Did you hear something? Better pick up my boat in case it's milk. Another thing we've been dealing with here is the fact that there are tons of moo cows. I feel feel like people really don't talk about this enough when they're documenting elk hunting trips, both here and in my trip in Colorado last year. There's cattle everywhere, and it can be really tough to tell if there's any elk tracks because they're covered up in cow tracks, and also the cows hog all the best stuff. Like this little bit of water here, there's a herd of cows that's just basically been working through here back and forth constantly. And at first yesterday we were tolerating them, but we're thinking now that they're actually a problem when they're right on top of this, that like probably the elk don't want to be in exactly the same spot, so we've started shooing them away. But they keep on coming. We've seen a lot of mule deer. Could have easily shot many mule deer. They seem to really not like the cows. So instead of glassing elk in the backcountry and spot and stalk hunting, which is what the whole reason I picked this unit for, we're now like right next to the road, 50 yards from our car, sitting over a water hole for extended periods of time. It's really not the style of hunting that I want it to do, but right now it feels like the most likely one that we're actually going to have success with. Here. Damn it. Man, we should have had them. We heard them coming. We thought they were cows, but we got ready, and it was elk. And the first cow came out with 2 calves and basically ran from the back end of the field all the way directly to our left to get at the water in like a thicket. She was only 15 yards away, but there was just too much cover. I couldn't get a shot. Then I heard a second elk coming right at the same time. These ones. It's not you. It's a cow. I see it. These really are cows. Moo cow. Moo cow. Sorry. I was thinking, there might be more. They sound the same, man. Anyway, this one was over here and they sounded like they were gonna spook because they're so close. And there was a hole this big and I never got her vitals in it. And this other one comes out and I got her to stop at 40 yards. I was nervous they were gonna blow up the whole thing and I just rushed the shot clean over her back. I just made a perfect shot at 50 yards in the campsite. And, that's hunting. Very exciting. And hopefully they're not the only cows that come tonight. Back in the field. In range, but looking at us. Wait. She's walking right at you. Alright, we got broadside right now. comes out in the very back of the meadow, just where the first one did, and she's followed by a spike, and my brother's going draw, draw, and I'm like, they're too far away. And so I didn't draw, and she comes straight at us again at a walk. And at 25 yards or so, I go to draw the bow, and you can actually hear it in the video that there's some kind of a twig snap. My brother said it actually happened behind us, that neither of us caused it. Right at the moment that I'm drawing the bow, there's a twig snap. It makes her nervous, draws her attention directly towards us, and she sees a little bit of my movement drawing, and then she and the spike are gone. You know, we hear a lot more noise and stuff, but that's the last chance we had for the night. We actually got out of the car, we ran back, we got out of the blind, we ran to the car and drove down the road a ways in order to try to get in front of them and like relocate the herd, but we weren't able to do it. So, you know, after that, we were so amped up on adrenaline and having literally just sprinted through the woods to try to find them again that we decided to like have a party, basically. We drank some whiskey and stayed up until midnight talking and looking at the stars and just soaking in what had been an incredible, incredible afternoon, you know, a hunt that we were never going to forget. I was very bummed. I was bummed that I didn't kill one, but I was also not that bummed because it was so amazing and because it meant, since I didn't get one, that we got to keep doing it. And but we planned to not hunt in the morning. We were just going to sleep in and take it off and kind of, you know, party and enjoy, soak it all in. Well, you know, I was up half the night with fever dreams of woulda, coulda, shoulda, and my heart pounding and stuff, and at 6:15, which is about shooting time, I was awake. So I figured I might as well get up and walk down there towards the blind and see what happens.
I just shot the spike. Oh my God. I didn't want to make the same mistake as last night, so as soon as I knew he was coming, there were cows everywhere. I wasn't sure it wasn't a cow, but I saw legs coming down through the trees, and I just decided to draw. And it was the spike, and he walked out, and I had to hold for a long time. And he finally walked straight at me, just like they did last night, and stopped at about 25 yards. And he couldn't see me at that point. So I let it rip and shot him straight in the chest. I saw the arrow just barely sticking out of his chest as he ran, and he seemed to hurt bad. Fingers crossed, man.
I'm hiking back to camp. Gonna try to calm down, get the car, get my brother who slept in. But it's just, man, I'm just praying that I hit him right. I may have heard him crash.
Morning.
Morning. How was your walk?
It was good.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
Went up and sat the water again.
See anything?
I shot that spike in the chest at 23 yards.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What time did that happen?
7:41.
Well, shit. You're serious?
Dead serious.
That's some right there.
So look up there.
Oh yeah.
He was running full tilt, so hopefully that's a lot.
Somewhere there.
We like to look at that. There he is. He didn't go 100 yards.
Yeah. You did it.
Thank you, buddy. Wow. All right. Punch the tag. We ended up running into this bull hunter. He had a couple of outfitters helping him as well as a buddy, so they ended up coming and helping us cut up the elk. And the pack out was maybe 200 yards, and we had 4 helpers. The only thing I carried out of the woods was the head. They were waiting at the car with the meat by the time we got packed up. After we had the elk cut up, we bombed down the mountain. We were actually having a really hard time finding a processor. The ones that I had scouted beforehand and marked, I called them and They were not accepting anything. I called a couple of others. They were not accepting anything. So we get down the mountain, go to buy a bunch of ice, and ask the general store, you know, do they know anybody? And they recommended somebody who was only 15 minutes away and was absolutely awesome. They just took such good care of us, and yeah, I couldn't be more grateful. They washed my game bags. They're keeping the spike head on frozen so that we can preserve the velvet with the taxidermist and all of that. And really, that's just been a general theme here that I've found so pleasant in Utah, that the people are so nice. Everybody who I've talked to, other hunters, people in town, have been welcoming and warm, readily sharing, you know, themselves and the land with me. You know, it was pretty different from my experience in Colorado, where not everyone was welcoming. And so, you know, that's how I ended up where I am right now as well. I was planning to fish down on this river, and the guy who works in the general store said, no, this is where you want to do. There's not a lot of places to camp by the river. There's great places to camp and good fishing in the lakes up on top of this mountain over here. He gave me pins on Onyx and everything to show me where to go, just to be nice. So thank you to all you guys in Utah who've been so good to me.
I'm in a different part of the same national forest now. I came here on a very generous tip from a local guide who said that there is great trout fishing in the mountain lakes around here. What a beautiful reservoir. No luck so far on the fish. The bottoms of these lakes are very muddy. Look at my feet. I'm just completely coated in thick, thick mud. It's pretty tricky to wade in there. I've seen some action. Now there's fish in here. I just got to figure out how to cast to them. It's hard to get far enough away from the tree line in order to make a cast. Look at that. Got on a blue-winged olive. We're eating fish for dinner tonight. Okay, that was a nice morning. Gonna head back to camp and cook this fish for lunch. Oh, that was really nice. I just cleaned the fish and washed myself a bit in this cold mountain stream. It felt so good, and it'll be nice to cool me off before I hike back to camp. When I do this outside, I better do it quick. That is just some gorgeous meat. Look at the meat on that thing. That is gonna be so good. Okay, I think that's time. I think we're cooked. Freshly caught mountain trout. I don't know if I can fish this lake. It's surrounded by this bog meadow. It's like Jurassic Park. These sedges are actually like floating. It feels like you're walking on a waterbed, and I just hit a hole right here as I got close to the actual shore, where I sank almost waist deep right away and had to crawl out. So I don't know if this one is worth it. Look at that. It's like you're riding a waterbed. I made it to the edge of the water. I don't know if you can see, but there is a rocky section over there. The fish I caught this morning on the small lake were all right next to the rocks as well, so don't know, maybe if I get in the woods and I can find an easy trail around, it might be worth it. There's actually quite a lot of elk sign in here as well. I'm walking in a clear elk trail right along the edge of this lake, and there's droppings and tracks and rubs. Like this willow here, it's been browsed really heavy. I don't know if you can see there, but in there the ones along the edges have been browsed heavily. This looks like it's probably the place where they enter this wetland meadow from the woods. Nice wide opening. This willow tree here is absolutely shredded. I'm over in the boulder field now. I've got the sun at my back. I can see really well into the water. I can't see a single fish. I haven't spooked a single fish. I haven't seen a fish rise. For whatever reason, I don't think that this lake really has a population in it, so I'm really glad I explored it. Learned maybe a potential future elk hunting spot, but other than that, I think it's time to move on. It's a pretty cool natural boulder field though. Amazing, all these lichens on here. That was pretty cool. I just saw a golden eagle up close. I saw him in this canyon before, but he was like super high and soaring when I was driving in a couple days ago. I'm moving to another spot today. Fished that spot. It was cool, found some elk sign. Now I'm gonna take my spike head to the taxidermist and then go fish some rivers. Okay, now I'm in a different area, gonna try some fishing. And thank you to the landowner. I'm accessing this part of the creek due to a walk-in access program. Doing pretty well in this creek. Seem to be getting a bite fairly frequently on a streamer, anywhere it's deep water. I just took a nice brown trout. Yeah! Look at that! Alright. Just picked another one. I'll try to land this one a little quicker. Another little one that makes 5. Ooh, that one's got pretty colors. Pretty fish. This is so awesome. I've been fishing streamers since yesterday because really nothing was rising. And then I just came up on this one spot where there's some kind of a little, like, tiny midge or mayfly hatch. And I don't even know how many. There must be like 20 fish in here actively feeding on them, and I put a great big dry fly on here and I've already caught 3, missed 2 in a matter of like 10 minutes. It's awesome. Something cool I haven't mentioned yet is that the ground here is pretty much covered in mint in places. So as I'm walking around fishing, I'll just get this like crazy strong aroma of mint. It's not all the time, but it's like very, very frequent, and it's really fun. It was happening up on the mountain too. Man, the generosity of Utahns just keeps on coming. I went by the butcher. Guy and his wife were in the process of loading an entire buffalo worth of meat into their car. And we chatted. It turned out his wife was also from New Jersey. And he just gave me this big old slab of ribs. So, well, it's now thawed after a couple of days. So I actually went to the thrift store and bought a skillet. Goodness. How am I gonna eat all this? That is freaking gorgeous. I'm gonna have to keep this other one on ice. I thought this was like bone-in ribs. Oh my goodness. Wow. Dude, thank you, man, whoever you were. This is an incredible gift. This isn't gonna be a braise situation. This is gonna be a sear it. Oh my goodness, what a steak. Oh my God. Look at that thing. Oh, that's gonna be so good. And that's only a quarter of what they gave me. Keep cooking. Dude. That is so good. Oh, I've only eaten half of it and I still have that to go. I'm so full, but I have to finish this thing. It's too good of a gift not to take advantage of. I'm gonna turn the camera off now because it might be getting a little rain. And then as soon as I'm done with this and ready to pack up, I'm gonna go back and fish in this canyon. The fishing down in this canyon is totally different than it was over in the other spot. These fish are much wilder. It's brown trout still, but like it's a fly fishing, or at least artificial lures only area, and you can kind of tell like these fish haven't been stocked because they are super spooky. You've got to really sneak up on them. I can only fish them from downstream, and they're really eager to take dry flies pretty much all the time, even if they're not actively rising, which is really fun. But they really fight, and they are hard to land. Like, I think I landed like 6 fish yesterday afternoon. I think I broke off 6 or 7 because what would happen is they'd either hit it so hard that I'd break it on the set, but more commonly what would happen is they would dive and get down into like these, like either under these rocks or down in these like clumps of willows that beavers had put in, and then, you know, you'd break them off in that stuff. So it was actually harder fishing, but more fun. I had one real big fish miss the lure, well over 20 inches. But most of the fish were like between 10 and 16 inches that I caught or had strikes from, which was similar to the other river. My buddy Dan arrives today, and gonna take him in and see if we can get him an elk too. So one more week to go. Well, I'm camped out back on the mountain where I caught my elk, waiting on my buddy Dan to get here with his nephew. And we got a big old storm rolling in. Sounds rowdy out there.
There's the rain. Oh yeah.
To me, there's something just so quintessential about the experience of being in a storm in just a tent. You know, I don't feel like you can appreciate shelter until you're in a situation where you barely have any. I remember these experiences from growing up as a little kid, and it still fills me with, you know, a little bit of fear, and I think it's important to put yourself through that. You're gonna be fine. Okay, the rain has pretty much quit. Dan and his nephew have made it to camp, and it's time for Dan to do some target practice. Is that a little low? I don't know. Hey, buddy. I didn't even bring the bugle tube. What I want you to do, Dan, is go and stand on that point. Was that an elk? think I've ever seen one quite like that. It's super red.
What up, bitches? Yeah, we just found some oyster mushrooms thanks to the rain. Oh yeah.
It's amazing what we all have decided is the...
It is. Is this a waste of time? No. We're gonna learn a lot. So we've been scouting around today and we just found fresh scat and fresh tracks going up into the woods here. It looks like they were browsing along this edge and went into these woods. So we're strongly considering, because there was good rain last night, so these tracks are from middle of the night through this morning. So we're thinking there's a really good chance that the elk are just up in these woods here. We may just sit on this meadow tonight. So we decided to make the move and change locations. We didn't have any luck last night where we were, and we were consistently hearing other hunters come to the area and walk around calling and stuff. So we figured it's time to try somewhere back in the wilderness. So we're not crazy far in. We're only about 1.5 miles from the road, but we're in an area that's kind of difficult to get to. It's all off trail, and it seems like most people are staying near the trails, and from here you can see a lot. So we saw a ton of elk sign coming in. They definitely use this ridge a lot, and hopefully we will be able to glass up a cow or some spike and something that Dan can get on. Also, unfortunately, I discovered that an issue with my camera earlier caused me to delete all the footage I had saved for her, so I've definitely lost a good amount of footage that I took from this trip, which is very frustrating. Also, I can't seem to get my computer to turn on right now, which is extremely frustrating. But, it is what it is. Gonna enjoy things and stay positive. We got really rained on hard on our hike in, but then things cleared up, and you can see a long way, and it's beautiful. So we're happy, we're content. We're back in the back country for at least a night or two, and we'll see what happens. Got some pretty heavy rain falling off to our east down in the valley. It's neat that you can see it so clearly like that. Look at that sunset rainbow. It's actually a double rainbow now. Wish the camera could do it justice. Look at that behind us. Oh yeah. I just glassed a lone cow elk with a calf on a ridge not that far away from us. I'm gonna run and tell Dan. Well, it suddenly turned into the hunt we were looking for. I saw that cow, I went and told Dan, and we basically just busted it. Well, I mainly busted it up this ridge, and ended up, I didn't find her again, but I found a real nice bull followed by another elk that I couldn't make out for sure. I don't think it was a bull. It may have been a spike because it was like rubbing its head on trees like it was pretending to rake. We've relocated the bull now. We see where he is. We haven't found the cow again, but I'm sitting on a big rock ledge directly above where she was. And yeah, now we're glassing. There's nobody else hunting this part of it, and hopefully we can figure this puzzle out today or tomorrow and get that cow. Here's my view down from the rock ledge. She was right on the ridge directly below me here, and the bull was on the opposite space in the aspens, like right around in this area is where we last saw him. He's still in there somewhere. He's just obscured. It's a pretty sweet view. Look at that. We saw what we think is a legal spike moving down into the bottom there.
and we're sure that we want to hunt these animals for at least the next day. So we're hiking all the way back, get in camp, and we're gonna break it down and move it up close to where we're gonna camp tonight. Or maybe not if we're successful in our play, which is we're gonna go down in this bottom, and if the wind is right, we're gonna creep up toward the spring that we think he's bedded near and try to call him in, because if he's a young spike, we might be able to pull that off. Beautiful campsite down there. We're making our way down the ridge to try and call this spike in, and we've walked into what is clearly a bull's bedding area. Droppings everywhere, it's super dark, nice and breezy. There's a for sure bed right there. Shouldn't go any closer right now. What? We probably shouldn't sneak any farther down right now. Right. We just saw a real nice bull when we were calling. Unfortunately, obviously we can't shoot him, so we're gonna circle downwind and try to get down into the valley bottom to see if we can call that spike or cow out.
He's down, baby! We did it!
I got a fucking spike!
Happy birthday!
Holy shit! Dude, I hit him in the fucking ham. Because he was right here and he turned and he was gonna go.
You hit him the first time?
I hit him the first time in the ham.
Shit. And he still came back.
He stopped and he was there. He was confused.
Dude,
My binos are on the ground.
It worked.
I need you.
He's laying dead right there.
Here's a little bit of blood.
It's a good thing we didn't have to track him.
Here's a little blood. Oh my God, there's a lot of blood on the ground, dude.
Oh yeah.
What? What did I do? Okay, terrible, super too close range archery, but wow.
Oh yeah, that's cool, man. He's a big old spike.
One of these has to be put away.
I want to get some video of you guys like walking.
All right,
Should we hold hands and frolic? Love that made you giggle. The girls must love that.
Oh wait, we were supposed to.
He's doing it.
So we found a campsite on top of the mountain, and someone marked this aspen tree from 1945 all the way until 1958. Donnie Hunter. I'm not a big fan of marking up trees, but that's pretty cool. Okay, that's a wrap on everything. It's time to head home. Just got to get out of this mountain road without busting up the car, and then